Welcome, all ye weebs. Here we are. another anime podcast for you.
Woo.
My name is Renee. Here's my co-host Kathleen,
Woo.
and together we are
Woo.
Ahegals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about an anime called Kiss Him, Not Me.
Kiss the boy.
Hey, kiss the boy. No, don't kiss the boy. Let the boy kiss the boy.
Kiss the boy.
Boy, let the boys kiss. Kiss boys. Boys kiss boys. Yeah.
Boys kissing boys.
And maybe a girl.
I mean, maybe.
2 girls.
Dude, the president said that it's now legal to kiss your homies goodnight, so.
Oh, fuck yeah. Get over here, bro.
Come on, bro. Smooch.
Today's anime, Kiss Him, Not Me, is you learn all this stuff in the very first episode, but this anime is about this overweight Fujoshi named Serinuma Kaie. And one day she becomes depressed after her favorite character from an anime dies, and she suddenly loses a lot of weight during her absence from school. And then when she comes back to school, she's thin and cute and pretty, and her classmates don't recognize her until she announces who she is, basically, and they all freak out. And then after learning who she is, a bunch of her classmates are like, oh, she's cute, and they're into her because of her looks now, except for one of the dudes, but we'll get to that later. And Kaie ends up getting roped into going on a group date with 4 boys, and she basically struggles to hide the fact that she's an otaku. But during the date, all she could think about are the interactions that each of the boys are having with each other, and she's fantasizing about those fake relationships. So her really intense Fujoshi nature starts to come out, and she struggles really hard to hide that. Eventually she's unable to hide the fact that she is an otaku, and ends up running off and buying some anime memorabilia, and reveals to all of the dudes that that's who she is. And she's just like, I'm okay if you guys don't want to be my friend anymore because I'm an otaku. But one of the boys, my favorite, he ends up telling her that it's okay to like the things that she likes, and that he still wants to be friends with her. And then the other 3 boys agree with that sentiment, and then the series goes on with them attempting to romantically pursue her. Yeah. And then somewhere along the way, there's a lesbian character that pops up and threatens the rest of the boys because she's pretty much better than them.
Oof.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a very funny, lighthearted anime, very homoerotic. Similar to Oran in the homoerotic nature, but still different.
Yeah, something I was realizing when I was after I'd watched the second time and I was kind of sitting back, I was like, okay, what do I have to say about this show? And just hilarious that it's pretty much the same thing as Oran, but one, it's definitely a more modern take on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just a little more.
It fully realizes that it's all about the Fujoshi nature, whereas Oran was more
just made very light
yeah,
jokes towards it, right? Yeah, it's very realistic. Kiss Him, Not Me.
Yeah.
Way more realistic. I when we were it's just I feel like this is very important and it speaks a lot to us as a couple. But when we were talking about doing Ahegals, we had a call and we were it's just, throwing ideas at each other, and we're making a rough list of the series that we would want to go through, right, in the long run.
Yep.
And this one was listed, right? And so we left the call, and later that night, what was it? We were playing games with our friends, And then we found out that
Yeah.
we had both started watching Kiss Him Not Me, like
Yeah, we
right
both
after.
the same anime at the same time.
With a list of like over 20 anime that we had come up with.
I know,
We
we both picked this. So fucking good.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I
Just
was just
amazing. I guess we should probably define the term Fujoshi for people who don't know what it actually means.
absolutely.
Okay. So a Fujoshi is a female identifying person that is essentially is just into gay stuff. They like they like they like gay shit. and there's a male version of that word too. It's fudanshi. It's just a guy loving gay stuff. And it doesn't have to be guy on guy.
Mhm.
It can be girl on girl as well. But you're just into gay shit. That's what a fujoshi is.
You're just super into gay shit.
Yeah, super into gay shit.
Isn't the like the definition or like whatever characters make it up or like translate to like rotten woman or something like that?
Yes, yes, it does.
I love
The
that.
fu part of the fujoshi is rotten.
Okay.
Cause like,
Rotten woman.
I looked up the definition last night, and because yeah, that was exactly it. And it says denoting how a woman who enjoys fictional gay content is rotten or too ruined to be married. We're ruined.
We're ruined.
It's so ruined.
Yeah, I mean, and it definitely, like, I remember learning that word. I had to have been in like middle school or high school, but I remember learning that word, and like in the context that I saw it, it was a very proud, and it was on the internet, of course, but it was like a very proud, I'm a Fujoshi, right? People in their like Tumblr, Twitter bios. I was like, what does that mean? And I go to look it up. I was like, "Oh, so I guess I would be that too." And then like reading the like original connotations of it in Japan, I'm like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be proud of being called this."
You're not supposed to be proud of
Uh-uh.
it. You're not supposed to be proud of being an otaku either, but it's
Mhm.
like it used to be a slur in Japan.
Mm.
But now that like Japanese like anime manga has become more popularized all over the world, it's less of a slur, but it's still not necessarily a good thing overall.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just being an otaku in Japan, at least.
I have apparently stumbled upon a academic paper
Oh,
from Kyoto's Seika University in Kyoto by
oh,
Midori
neat.
Suzuki. But the app, just reading the abstract was really interesting. Today, people who are referred to as Fujoshi exist in every part of the world, especially in Japan. Many women admit to liking genres such as yaoi and boys' love. In the new millennium, the word Fujoshi has traveled beyond fanish circles and has come into general use in Japanese popular media, reflecting the fact that Fujoshi are no longer necessarily an underground phenomenon. Here, I trace the origins
Underground.
of so underground. Here I trace the origins of the word Fujoshi. Consider whether reading the male romance, the reading of male romance was established before the word appeared. Examine research in Fujoshi in Japan, and finally look at why Fujoshi has become an object of study.
Huh.
That's super interesting.
That is interesting.
But yeah, anyway, it is a term that has an ever evolving connotation and meaning.
Yeah.
It's basically what that is. This series reeks of Fujoshiness, though.
Oh my god.
It's
It's
drenched.
like from episode 1, it announces this is Fujoshi shit. This is a girl fantasizing about boy on boy, any like a lot of just boy on boy interaction and hardcore. Like
um,
really hardcore ogling that.
it's oh god, it's hilarious.
It's very funny. It doesn't take itself seriously at all,
Mm-mm.
and that's what makes it like so funny and enjoyable for me at least. It's just lighthearted comedy. One of the questions that I want to ask you about, or maybe we should go into like a little bit about the characters themselves, because this is also like the show is also kind of set up like an otome game, like a
Mm-hmm.
dating sim.
Mm-hmm.
And there aren't many characters and even side characters. um so maybe just talk about that, and then we can tell each other who our favorite and who our least favorite characters are, although I have an idea that we both have the same favorite.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you want to talk to the boys? Do you want me to talk about the boys?
Uh, 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 trade off.
Trade off. Tag
You
tag
do one, I'll do one. Tag team.
tag. Okay, so Ray already talked about Kai, Serinuma. I'm gonna refer to them as their family names, right? So not their like
Yeah.
not their like first like American first. There's Serinuma, and she's a fucking weeb. She's a dork. Can weeb even be used to refer to like a Japanese person? No, right? It's otaku.
No, it's otaku.
Okay, so she's a fucking dork. That's the word that is the correct noun. Sh
She's a dork.
she's a dork, and she has two classmates who are like I don't know that they're ever like portrayed as popular. I think something that I noticed on the second watch through that I thought was really interesting was there isn't I don't know, maybe just because I'm old. Like I'm so used to seeing like shojo slash slice of life series where like there's obviously popular people and then there's obviously normal people like in a
Mm,
classroom. But this doesn't seem to be the case. Like the way that even like the background characters that we don't actually get names for interact, they're all like really friendly with each other.
yeah.
And I think that's definitely truer to like real life, and that I don't know, it keeps it really lighthearted even when there's like
Mm, mhm.
love drama or whatever. But
Yeah.
two of Sarinuma's classmates, there's Igarashi. He's really sweet and like I feel like he would be like the popular dude. Like
Like the popular model student.
yeah, like he's conventionally handsome. He's pretty considerate and he's athletic, right? He does well in
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Um, unfortunately, I don't really have anything else to say about. I have a lot to say about like his
Yeah.
interactions with Saranuma,
Same, same.
in his pursuit
He's
of her.
like, yeah, he's like the most forward
Mm-hmm.
of the love interests.
He is a boy.
Yeah.
That is basically what
He
you
is
can
a
say.
boy.
He's a boy and he's interested in a girl.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then there's the other classmate, Nanashima,
mm-hmm.
who he's kind of like the sporty bad boy popular kid.
Yeah,
He's not exactly a bad boy, but he kind of comes off as that.
a bit class clowny. He's like really
Yeah.
in the middle of like being a problem.
Yeah, he's hot-tempered
Mm-hmm.
and dumb.
He's very dumb. Sporty too.
Yeah, yeah.
And him and Igarashi are fucking
Yeah, they
besties.
besties. 7'5", 5'7".
Fuck me,
The
dude.
pairing.
Oh my god. It was so good. I didn't realize until the second watch that that was referring to their names.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I
so cuz Nana is 7,
mm-hmm,
and then the Iga in Igarashi is 5,
mm-hmm. Oh my
but
god.
that's not how you actually say the number 5 in Japanese.
Right, which was I was like, that's interesting. And then because I went to look at everyone else's names because everyone else goes by that
Yeah.
same like pattern,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, that's it. Mm.
Yeah, it's just cuz the kanji characters have more than just one pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay,
that's why.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course she has an underclassman
A
Na
tsundere
Oh
underclassman.
my god, his name is Shinomiya, and they do health club together. I don't know what the hell that means.
Me neither.
They
And it
like
only is like relevant in the first episode.
seriously, but they do health club. I don't know what health club is. Maybe they like help out at sports events and they like practice rapping like casts on each other. I don't fucking know. But like he's like a freshman in high school and like he very obviously like when Saranuma's first introduced, right? She's a fatty. She cute. She's
Yeah.
a fatty.
Hmm.
Love her regardless, but
She's just plump and jovial.
she's so fucking cute. But he obviously like has a distaste for her. Like maybe he
Yeah.
understands that she's kind of like I don't know if it's like a fat phobic thing or if he's like, oh, she's kind of Fujoshi-ish. Like, I'm gonna stay away from her. Like, but
Yeah.
there's something like predetermined about the relationship where he's like, okay, yeah, that's senpai, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but he's like really cutesy, right? He's young still.
Ooh.
He's younger than everyone else, so he has like a complex.
Yeah, an inferiority complex.
Yeah, sweet boy.
He gets made out to be like he gets turned into a trap a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very funny.
It is pretty funny.
Because he's also hot-tempered like Nanashima is.
Oh yeah. No, he's very boyish, and so like to be coddled and babied is something that like constant is an issue that constantly comes up for him.
Yeah.
Sweet boy.
And then the last boy, Mutsumi,
Oh,
he is like the
oh,
big happy dumb senpai.
oh.
And he's the first one that recognizes who Serinuma is after she's lost all her weight and come back to school. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, she's the same person. She's the same kind person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she looks a little bit different, but she's still herself. And and like that's what like first impression, like just going off of first impressions of each of the boys, Mutsumi was my favorite, just based on the first impression of them.
He's big, handsome, and dumb as shit, and I just want to jump him so hard. He's so cute.
He's very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's the only boy that is actually not interested in the main character
Mm-hmm.
romantically.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the beginning. But yeah, he literally just is like, I just want to hang out and have fun with
He
everybody.
literally there's like a running joke through the entire show is like everyone's like, "Yeah, we all have a crush for her, so that's why we're all pursuing her and we're all accidentally becoming friends. Oops." And the whole time he's just like, oh, "My friends, like this is my friend group now.
Oh, my friends.
Let's go
Yeah,
to a movie and hang out, bros."
yeah.
Oh, it's so cute and
It's
wholesome.
very, very cute. And he's always the one like mediating the fights that the other three guys are having with each other, like when they're trying to compete for Numa's love,
Mhm.
basically. And he's always like, he just comes up with a good solution so that everybody gets equal time and they all
Yeah.
enjoy themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So so that's my favorite character.
He's a doll. I fucking adore him.
A
A character that we're not introduced to until like what, two,
couple
three
episodes
episodes
in.
in? Yeah. A small
Yeah, three
hand
or four.
a small handful of episodes in is our fifth lover.
Hmm.
And that's Nishina, excuse me, because her
Yeah.
her name is Shima. But
Yeah.
she is also a fucking otaku. She's a huge dork. And like
Yeah.
they meet her at Comiket, which is short for Comic Market, which is a
Mhm.
huge convention in Japan. Fucking
Mm,
humongous. And like
yeah.
oh man. Anyway, but so she meets everybody at Comiket when they all go together and then
She's dressed up.
oh my god.
She's dressed up as Sebastian from Black Butler.
Dude,
They
perfect.
call it Gray Butler in the show.
I know, Gray Butler. Oh my
Oh, it's
god.
so funny. It's
That
really good.
that sent me down the second watch through sent me down a rabbit hole
Yeah.
getting to that episode.
Yeah.
I ended up stopping after that episode. I paused Kiss Him Not Me and I went to watch like 4 episodes of Black Butler on Netflix.
Nice. Oh, it's on Netflix.
Only the second season. I'm pissed.
Why?
I'm mad. I have no
Why
idea.
only season 2?
And
That's
it's not
so
on
weird.
Crunchyroll. It's the worst season too.
What?
Like the
That's so weird.
like the bonus season is fine. It's not great, but it's better than the second season.
Huh.
But
Okay.
yeah, I watched like the last couple episodes of season 2, which is fucking ridiculous. I watched like the I hate the first episode of season 2. This is such a fucking tangent, but I hate the first episode of season 2. And then I watched the second episode. I was like, yeah, okay. And then I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this. And so I skipped to the end of the season and watched like the last 3 episodes. Oh, what is wrong with me?
So what, you watched the first episode and then the last 3 episodes?
I watched the second episode and then the
Oh.
last 3
Oh my
episodes.
god. What a way to watch anime.
I had a need. Like, I remembered enough that I was like, I don't need to watch the rest of this trash. I'm gonna watch the last 3.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to watch Sebastian suffer. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
I was having a sadistic moment, so god damn it.
That's great.
But yeah,
Nishina.
Nishina arguably is kind of on the same tier as Mutsumi, right? Because
Yeah.
I think she says too that she remembers Serinuma from like a previous Comiket.
Yeah. So like she has legitimate reasons for liking Serinuma.
Mhm.
And she was seeking out Serinuma as her like chubby self too.
Mhm.
Like she was looking for her thinking that she was still chubby, and then she realized that she lost weight, and then she finally got to meet her again, and she was really happy to be able to become friends with her.
Yeah.
I also really like Nishina because of that, cuz she wasn't pursuing the main character just because she looks cute and thin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, arguably too, like I think that's the pairing that's like the least represented in the series.
Yeah.
Probably because they're both girls, but like I don't know. I
Yeah.
think I don't besides the fact that they're both fucking nerds, they don't seem to have a lot of a connection like romantically. Like obviously
No.
Nishina like is like, yes, this is my girl, and she supported my dojin circle for years, and
Yeah, but
the
their real bond is over their love of anime
fake
and
boys.
and being Fujoshis.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how they bond. That's where their friendship that's what keeps them together as friends,
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
much. She is, however, the first one to kiss the main character and throw off everybody.
Those boys were so cut off by gay, but also
Yeah, they were.
the audacity.
I know.
That was pretty good.
That smooth talker Nishina.
So smooth.
So smooth. We're just homies kissing.
Bro, the president said, the prime minister of Japan said, it's legal to kiss your homies goodnight, okay? Y'all fucking blue balling back there. I'm gonna kiss my homie, okay? She's in my house. She's ready and primed because I showed her all of my fucking otaku shit. Let's go.
So the show presents itself in like an otome game dating sim style.
Mm-hmm.
And they all just get in, like they just do stuff together. Like they're all trying to go on dates with the main character, but they're also all cock blocking each other at the same time. Which just adds to the comedy. And it's great. Trying to think of like what my favorite episode is, and I really don't know. Like, I was trying to think about it, and I'm just like, I think the one I probably enjoyed the most, just because it was so ridiculous, was the the episode right after the shipping war that Nishina and Serinuma have with each other. They go to visit um
Oh.
this samurai's shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a group, so the entire group goes to visit this samurai shrine because there was an anime made about this samurai. So they're, being Fujoshis, freaking out about it, loving it. um and and then they go to this like island that supposedly has the head of the dead samurai buried somewhere on it. But like in order to get to the island, they have to ride these little boats, which those are like these little swan boats where
So
like you
cute.
pedal with your feet.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what those are called.
I
um
don't know if I've ever known a name for them, but yeah, they're just those
yeah,
cutesy couple boats, paddle
yeah.
boats.
But then they like a whirlpool or something makes them all
Some
fall
f-
overboard. Some
some
stupid.
some freak act of nature.
Yeah, some freak act of nature forces them all overboard, and they wake up on the island. And one of them is like partially drowned and has to be resuscitated, which adds to more Fujoshi freakouts. Um, but just this episode, just because of how ridiculous it was, because like the spirit of the buried samurai shows up and is threatening them essentially, and Serinuma and Mutsumi, the big dumb, end up fighting it with their little charms that they got from the temple they went to. And it's really, really stupid. It's just so ridiculous because it's like the first weird, abnormal, supernatural thing.
It really sticks out, yeah,
Yeah,
from the rest of the show.
because it's normal. It's just supposed to be a normal like slice of life high school comedy. And then suddenly this weird supernatural stuff comes out of nowhere. And like to explain why that happened at the end of the episode, they're just like, oh, like they go back to the restaurant that they were at right before they went to the island, and the owner is like, oh, I accidentally cooked your dishes using hallucinogenic mushrooms. My bad. So anything that you might have seen wasn't real.
Homeboy fucking drugs those kids and they have like a spiritual experience
Yeah.
on this island.
It was so funny. I think I laughed out loud the most at that one just because of how ridiculous it was.
That really was a goofy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of an episode too. Although that particular one had a lot of things that like gave me questions about the show. Or thing
Oh,
like there was a lot of interesting things about that episode. So like I think it's even called like the episode's even titled something like a pilgrimage, right?
yeah,
W-
something like that.
Which is like actually a super common thing for otaku to do, both inside and outside of Japan.
Really?
It is. So the earliest example I can think of is I you know what? I want us to have a running thing where every episode we find one way to reference Haruhi Suzumiya. Because the earliest um recollection I have of that sort of thing happening was when Suzumiya came out. Um
Okay.
because it was that show takes place and is based on an actual high school that exists. And so
Oh, I didn't know that.
people were going to the high school to visit, right? To pay homage to the great and powerful god Haruhi Suzumiya. Um, but obviously in Japan first, but a lot of from what I know, American fans went over and would try to find the school too. And I think the school even
Oh,
had like insane security measures, like because people kept trying to get
wow.
on campus, and they're like, you can't
Oh
do
my
that. This is a
god.
school. Like,
Jesus.
um,
You
yeah,
know what? That makes sense because when Twilight came out,
there was a
'cause-
shit.
yeah, there was a shit ton of people coming to Forks, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a pretty common thing.
yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, as like a fan base to go visit the place, like the setting in which you're thing that you love to
Mhm.
place at. That makes sense when you
There's
put it like that.
when they're at the temple too, they have those little plaques that you can write on and leave there, like leave a prayer there, right, for the
Yeah.
souls that are there.
Mhm.
I've actually seen plaques like that for a different anime. So Anohana uh also has like a temple location that it was based off of
Oh, that's cool.
that people go and visit, and when you go there and you go to the temple, there are a ton of those plaques like on a bridge with
Wow.
doodles and prayers and stuff for Menma.
Oh, that's really cute.
So it's funny, it's interesting to like I don't know, that episode made me think about like this is a real thing, right? Like
Yeah.
people spend their vacations, people spend money and time to travel to these places. They spend money giving to these temples, right? They pray at these temples, like places probably that like don't see a lot of because of this anime, like before these anime, like this media shows up, like they probably don't have a lot of people visiting, right? They don't have a lot of support
Yeah, that's fair.
monetarily. And so like all of a sudden there's this huge influx of fucking nerds coming in like here's our money, take our money for our great lord, for the love of our lord. um
Ah!
and it's such a huge boost to that little corner of the economy, and it's so fucking cool that
Yeah, I do
like
like that.
yeah, that's a side effect of anime and manga and video games and stuff.
Yeah. Like not even just anime and manga and video
No.
games. It can be like just normal novels that
Yeah,
can cause that to happen.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was something that was interesting. Yeah, there's one scene
Just a
where they're
regular
like
TV
just a TV show, man.
show.
Fucking I watched X-Files as a kid, so I went to Area 51, baby. Um
Baby.
baby. Um like when they go to the pray at the temple, right? There's like an old couple
Yeah. Oh
at the
yeah.
temple, and the one of them's like, "Oh, like there's a lot of young ladies here." They're like, "Wow, they really want to, pray for the Lord." And then the boys are like, there's a fucking they're all fucking otaku. They're just here for their fucking
Anime
BL
made.
shit.
Yeah, I think one of the somebody of the elderly couples, maybe it was the old man, but he was like, "Did they make a drama
Yeah.
or something?" And Igarashi comments, he's like, "It was an anime."
It was an
He's
anime.
like he's like solemnly in his own head,
He's,
embarrassed.
he's like it wasn't even a live action drama that people
It
wouldn't
was
watch
an
anyway. It was a
anime.
cartoon. So good. Aside from that, this was a small nitpick I got from that episode, but like Serinuma ends up in like a boat with Igarashi, and like
Yeah, okay.
that's that he we said earlier that he's like a very he's probably the most forward out of all of the boys, right?
Yeah.
Cuz he's very
Actually my
like
least favorite character.
yeah, you know what? I might argue that too because like he very obviously at several points like makes her uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she likes the seeds, right? She's like, "Yeah, he's really cute," and like, "Okay, this is fine." But,
Yeah.
you know, he keeps pushing it even after like they have conversations where she's like, "Oh, that's a lot for me. That's too much for me."
Yeah, like a couple episodes into the series, she literally breaks down crying
Oh,
at like they're having a school festival, and she's getting all this attention from all of her guy friends and even just other guys and around the school, and it's a lot for her,
mhm.
for somebody who is very used to just being on the sideline and like observing from afar and enjoying doing that, and then suddenly having people be up in her face,
Yeah.
and have the things that she does like to see but done to her, and she's noted that it's very very different,
Yeah.
and overwhelming, and she breaks down crying, and because of all, and it's really like, oh, it's oh, that's really sad. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry they're doing this to you, and like, and all the boys end up backing off after that, but Igarashi is still trying to like get her alone and push her boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, like to talk about this like outside of the full context of the show makes him seem worse than he actually is. And
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
he's really not that bad, but
No,
like
he's not.
the fact that it continues to come up and he like he just won't ease into it, right? And it
Yeah.
in this episode it's a pretty small exchange before the fucking cyclone from hell shows up, but like
Yeah.
but she's just like, "Oh, like, he hold my hand. Oh, it's it's so much." Wherein,
Yeah.
like, later in the episode, so that when they wash up to shore, everyone else finds each other except for Serenuma and Mutsumi.
Hmm.
And Mutsumi, like, makes, like, a like, his whole thing, right? He's like, "I don't know where the others are. She's passed out. I need to take care of her. She's gonna get sick," right? So, like, that's his
Yeah.
whole thing, and, like, he's she's unconscious, right? So he has to like carry her to this hut that he finds, and then he at one point undresses her because their clothes are soaking wet, which like yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and she
That's
has a fever.
uh-huh, she has a fever and he cuddles up and he builds a fire or whatever to keep her warm, to keep her from like getting more sick, right? From
Yeah.
this incident. I it
And they literally show him like his eyes are shut while he's trying to undress her and redress her, and he's like, "I'm really
he's like
sorry."
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it's like
Because he doesn't want to do that.
I know. It's all for survival and he's in a panic and he's trying to take care of her. She's his friend. Something
Yeah.
so super small detail I noticed. Her underwear was really detailed. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like her bra is the I think we see all of it, but like her bra really stuck out to me.
Because
It,
it was like kind of frilly.
it was super lacy and not like not like I wouldn't expect someone like Sarah Numa to wear underwear like that, but like the art itself I was like, "Wow, that's like for a show that like is so like cutesy and these are children basically who are like, going through like uh romance, right? It's feel good, it's not super serious, right?
Uh-huh.
I was like, why are her fucking under things so detailed? And I
Why is it so sexy right now?
why is my Kokoro going doki doki at her undies right now? Excuse me. Come to find out, this led me down another rabbit hole right after the fucking Black Butler one.
Uh,
The creator of this show, her pen name is Junko. Sh
Yuko!
she actually got her start in 2009 from writing yaoi doujinshi.
No way.
It's probably even something you've read before. Hold on.
Oh shit. Oh, I think I have read that.
Right? So that's why the undies are so detailed. Her start was in duh.
No
Duh.
way. Yuko!
She was a
No
doujinshi artist.
way.
She wrote
What?
Boys Love Doujinshi as her start. And like
This show is perfect then. No way.
it just explains everything. All of my questions are answered.
Yeah, I've read this, dude. I've read this touching.
I've read this porn before. Dude.
Oh my god, no way. Oh shit.
I dude. So that explains the underwear. That explains how like perfectly like written the like boys love aspect of this is. There's not a
Yeah,
lot of like these boys are gonna kiss. Like there's some of that, but like
yeah. I
the
guess. Oh, sorry.
embodiment, no, you're totally good. The embodiment of like Fujoshi-ness is
Yeah,
so good. Like
it really is.
it
It's spot
it
on.
comes from Serinuma, it comes from her friend, her best friend Achan,
Achan. Yeah.
and then it comes from Nishina. Like a perfect depiction of it without being in any way like ew, Fujoshis are gross. There's like this
Yeah.
there's like this like self-inflicted from Serenuma, right? She's like oh, and Achan a little bit too, where they're like, oh, like I'm an otaku and like I enjoy this life that I have, right? Where I enjoy these contents and I daydream about these fake boys and I do it in real life too. But like, right, she understands that like it crosses a line, right, to be fantasizing about these guys too
Yeah.
much. And that's a narrative that comes so much from like what a Fujoshi identifying that sounds so silly. A Fujoshi identifying person would
I am a
feel.
Fujoshi identifying
That
person,
sounds
and
fucking
I love
stupid,
food.
but those are the only words that I can think of. Like like that's the kind of like that's something I've gone through, right?
Mm,
I'm like, yeah, it's all fucking fake and it whatever, it doesn't matter. But
yeah.
and then it slips into real life and I'm like, "Oh god."
Oop.
Hmm?
Like, oop.
Excuse oh, pardon me. Excuse me. But it explains so much.
It really does. Cause oh, it's perfect because the author is a Fujoshi. So it's wow, that makes it even better, honestly.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I love that. And I'm gonna reread. I'm gonna reread the Dojin later.
It's a pretty good one. But yeah, porn.
Yeah,
Th- this
porn.
this sweet show, this sweet series comes from porn. Big
Oh,
brother porn over here.
so funny.
Yeah, so
Uh,
that's a good episode.
yeah.
It started a lot of little thought branches
Wow.
for me.
I do want to say that if you are not a person who is okay with like a homoeroticism, like if you don't like gay stuff, you're not going to enjoy this show. You probably also would not have enjoyed watching Oron High School Host Club either,
Mm.
um, since they have about the same amount of like gay to it.
Gay levels maximum.
Gay levels, yeah. But it's still it's funny anyways.
It's really cute.
It's really cute. It's so lighthearted. Like
Hmm.
it really doesn't take itself seriously, which like how can it? It just can't.
Cannot, not allowed,
No.
illegal.
But it's very enjoyable
Yeah,
in that sense.
yeah, it's cute. It feels good. Um, no definitive ending.
No.
That's not quite a spoiler, but like a little bit. I don't know. I think it's nice because then you know right away.
Yeah, it's very like how like set up making it kind of honestly the end of the series made me think that this was also a game
Mm.
where you could play it and choose your own path, and I googled it and I tried to figure it out if it like was a game, but I couldn't find anything.
Oh,
Um but I was like it seemed like they set it up in a way where it was like, "Oh, that's your moment in if this were actually an Otome game, that's where you would pick the character that you would want to date."
that's
Um,
yeah, that's a I didn't even think of that. That's a great way of seeing it.
yeah.
And
Um,
you can go off on your own little Fujoshi escapades and like pick
or
whichever
Fudanshi.
for Danshi. No discriminating here, you know.
Yeah.
You go, you pick your favorite and you just imagine them with Serenuma doing whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
The manga has a definitive ending though.
Oh, does it really?
It sure does.
Oh shit! Ah,
Ah,
can you send that to me?
yeah, of course.
I does this has to know.
I does this has to know. Yeah, so that's something too, right? Is like I think your interpretation of the ending is fantastic. That's great. I didn't even fucking think of that. From like a um like production, like media business side of things, I was just like, okay, well, they have this story in one season and honestly like typically the best way of like finishing a series like this where there is a choice you
Mhm.
leave it with a cliffhanger
Yeah.
because like I mean, one, it leaves room for a second season, which never really turns out very good. But two, like
Mhm.
you don't piss anyone off.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and and I was like by the end of it, I was like cursing to Haruhi Suzumiya, and I was like, God damn it,
Our
Haruhi,
Lord.
why didn't she pick a boy? Just fucking unbelievable. Um but you can just read the manga, so to get to get the boy.
Hell yeah.
Um it was, what's funny though too is cuz I watched it on Crunchyroll. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
And I like just on occasion would scroll down to the my ADHD would come knocking, like very gentle rasping, and was like, "Hello, do you wanna click off this?" And I was like, "No, no, I have to watch this. I have to sit down and watch this." But I would scroll into the comments, and like almost consistently, I was seeing comments that were like, "Mutsumi Senpai is best boy," and I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
my brothers, my brethren,
Brother.
brother."
You understand me.
You know my plight.
Yo, even the manga, like the very first page, like the outline looks like Mutsumi of the dude with the girl, the prince with the princess.
Oh yeah, kind of, huh? I didn't even realize
Yeah.
that.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Oh woo woo.
Foreshadow, mayhaps.
Mayhaps, mayhapsably.
I hope so. Please let my fantasy be real.
I fucking pray.
Please let my Fujoshi fantasies become real.
Oh man. So I don't know. Maybe it's obvious at this point. Mutsumi is the best boy. I think
Yeah.
everybody agrees. I
Yay.
I love Nana also, Nanashima,
Oh, he's cute.
because
Yeah.
I feel like he'd fucking squirm with the tiniest bit of teasing, and I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I think Shinomiya would also squirm. Like he already squirms
he
being teased.
he sure does.
And that could be fun
Yeah,
too.
he's pretty cute.
Yeah. But
I
yeah, you know what? I actually really liked Nanashima after he had his episode basically, and you learn that he's an older brother and he has a little
oh
sister, and he
oh
dances to anime with her.
he watches her favorite show
Yeah, and
with
he
her.
learned the dance
He
to her
learns
favorite show.
all the dances for it.
That is so sweet.
So cute, dude.
Very wholesome.
Yeah, I think that's what got me about Nana. I was like, okay, like he's really cute and like sweet and just really easy to bully, I feel like. 'Cause like
Yeah,
a- any
he's dumb.
cuz he's dumb, right? That's why. I mean, yeah, you're right. There are like other instances where like people tease him and Igarashi because they're best friends, right? They're like
Mm,
people
mhm.
hint that like, oh, you guys are dating, right? And Anna's like, what?
Excuse me.
No.
You better shut your whore mouth.
And then the boys have totally kissed before, so go
Yeah.
figure.
Via resuscitation.
Yeah, not of. Oh, that was gonna sound bad. Not of their choice, not by choice.
They didn't kiss by choice. Oh, no, they kiss also from there's another episode where Serinuma she gains her weight back and
Uh-huh.
they're trying to help her lose it again. And they give her BL incentives
So cute, dude.
when she reaches certain goals,
So
weight
stupid.
loss goals. I love that
It's
so
so good.
much.
It's so good. And then of course there's like it's the one on the back, right? It's like hidden off of the
Yeah.
chart. And they're
Yeah,
like
the very last one.
it's like you lost all the weight you wanted to lose, so here's your last incentive. They have to kiss. And the boys
Kiss.
are like, "What? Excuse me,
And
what?"
it's really good too because like I think Igarashi probably wouldn't have done it had it not been for like a previous conversation he and Nishina had So she was basically being like, oh, you wouldn't do this for the girl that you like,
Uh-huh.
and kind of trapping him into doing it, even if he wouldn't have done it normally.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's another
like
thing.
guilt tripping him into doing it, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Because there's like uh, I mean, all of these kids are like competing with each other, right, to get Sarinuma's affection. And another huge like theme that comes up, or like a topic of discussion, is like, do you really have feelings for her, because, or is it just because she's
Mhm.
cute and lost weight? Yeah, like the boys'
Questioning the
affection.
boy's feelings.
Yeah, their affection is like not constantly questioned, but Igarashi's especially is like questioned
Yeah,
because
yeah,
um I
because it's
think
pretty obvious that
hmm
he only likes Serinuma for her looks.
he only started to like her for her looks, definitely.
Yeah. I
Uh
mean, all three of the boys, let's be real.
oh,
Aside
absolutely.
from Mutsumi.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nanashima, even like in the episode where she gains her weight back, is like, bro, what? Like, you still
Yeah,
wanna?
he freaks out and he's like, "Oh no."
Yeah, but he doesn't get questioned, right? Nishina doesn't quite. I think it's interesting because it shows that like Nishina and Igarashi are like the real. Maybe they think that they're in the lead as far as like having her affection, but they seem to think of each other as like their one true rivals, while everyone else is just fucking around. They're fucking dorks and they don't stand a chance to them or something.
Yeah.
And like Nishina knows that like, not that her affection, not that her feelings for Serinuma are better than Igarashi's, but she knows that like,
She
regardless as
has
to how,
reasons.
yeah, regardless as to how Serinuma looks, she's going to be interested in her.
Yeah.
And so she kind of probably she tries to take this opportunity to get him to fuck off, because she thinks once he's out, she's got a real chance at getting at Serinuma,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And like the weight thing, also really interesting,
Mhm.
especially because I remember you describing it to me, and I was like, yeah, okay, sure, Fujoshi stuff, yeah. And I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, because hearing that like she was fat and then she loses weight, she mysteriously loses weight. I was like, okay, it's gonna be one of these like vanity manhwas that I've read where it's like there's like this magic spell and she's like really ugly and then she gets pretty and then all of the fucking I don't know what the male equivalent of a tsundere is, but all those boys, they're like fucking models, and then all of a sudden they look at her and they're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and then she's like, "Oh, if this spell breaks, then they're not gonna be in love with me anymore." Um,
Yeah.
but it's it's different.
Yeah, it's not like that.
It's not like that at all.
And
Um,
actually, in that same episode where she gains her weight back, that is the episode where Nishina questions Igarashi's feelings for Serinuma.
mhm,
And there's a scene where they're alone. Igarashi and Serinuma are alone on the roof, and like the wind is blowing through her hair, and she said something charming, and he blushes, and like it does like this really nice pan of Serinuma as her like chubby self, and like just a dramatic scene, and Igarashi's like, "Oh, yeah, I do like her." And that part actually I was like, "Okay, you're not as bad as I made you out to be."
mhm.
Um First impressions wise, because he's like, "Oh, I've fallen in love with her all over again." And even Nana's like, "What?"
Excuse me.
Like this? One of the things, cuz when I was thinking about why I didn't like Igarashi as much as like Nanashima and Shinomiya, I I was listening to myself all the reasons why I didn't like Igarashi, and this was before I realized that he was the pushiest in his affections.
Mhm,
But I was like, okay, the other like all three of the boys, not including Mutsumi, they're all the same. They like her for her looks, and that's the only reason at first. And otherwise, there's nothing overly special about their personalities or the character themselves. And I was like, oh, there's really nothing that makes them interesting. Whereas, like, Mutsumi stands out because he wants to be friends with everybody and have a good time. And Nishina is the lesbian. And, like, what makes these other boys special?
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out why I hated Igarashi more than Nanashima and Shinomiya. And it just came down to the fact that he is like the pushiest and takes Serinuma out of her comfort zone the most. Even though he honestly hasn't done anything that bad. I think Shinomiya is probably the worst because he's fallen on her tits
Oh my
twice.
god, yeah. Like obviously by accident, but still, you're just
Yeah,
like,
by accident, and he's very embarrassed about it. But also he enjoyed it. um,
um,
but yeah,
yeah, him and yeah, no, I mean that's a great point, right? Like you have these feelings, and then you go back and watch, and you're like, why,
yeah.
why,
Why do I hate him more than the others? Because they're all the same. They're
why I
all
don't
as
like him?
shallow.
Yeah, exactly. He just seems the most shallow, and I don't like it, and I want to give him a smack, and I'm very protective of my girl, and don't
Yeah.
break her heart. I think I think what's interesting about Igarashi is like he is the character type that like the main character would typically go after,
Mm,
right? And like
yeah.
his pushiness, well, I think in general that type of thing isn't bad to do, but like again, it's something like his like holding her hand and like being more forward with her like is a discussion they have had that makes her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that repeated like it's a very simplified version of like the typical trope that you would see in a shoujo slice of life where they're like it's just romance, right? Where like someone has feelings for someone else and like they keep having these interactions that are slightly different but like in essence the same where it's
Yeah.
like we have this conflict and I just really like you, but I can't tell you to your face, and I'm gonna struggle with it for like a week or so, and then it blows over, and then you're like the next week it's the same thing, but like it's the festival or something. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's an interesting like watered down version of that trope, and
Yeah.
but it's I don't know, it's portrayed very realistically.
It is. Yeah.
She has boundaries. When he
Mhm.
pushes them, she very obviously, whether she tells him so or not, like it that she doesn't like that. Or I think that's hard to gauge too, right? Is like all of this is so new for Serinuma, and the fact that she knows what her boundaries are is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
And so you want her to be like, hey, just tell him that's too much. Oh my goodness. Shy, too much shy. But sometimes she
Mhm.
gives a little bit, right? Like they're even
Yeah.
supposed to have like a they have like I don't remember if they were private meetings, but they like meet up to like hold hands for a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess it was a well, I think it's supposed to be a private meeting
It's
because
supposed to be private, yeah.
because it showed Nanashima like in the background observing them, like snooping on them.
He's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" He got
Yeah.
binoculars and stuff.
And I mean like the private hand holding was Igarashi's way of like it was just handshaking,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Let's shake hands so you can get used to like me touching you."
Yeah.
But I think even though it was like I'm this is to help you get used to physical affection in the long run, it was still I actually didn't like it even though it is kind of sweet to like think about it in that way. I didn't like it cuz I was like your ultimate goal is to do the things that she says she's uncomfortable with.
Y- yeah, he's literally wiggling his way back into doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, like he's trying to find a way around it. And
Mhm.
like it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like just why not just let her do it on her own when she like at her own pace and not be like, "Yes, let's forcibly get you used to this."
Mhm. Igarashi is the villain.
He is the antagonist.
Confirmed. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic of things. It
Yeah.
just uh especially with Serinuma's like understanding of the situation, right? She's like, "Oh, these are just my friends now." And like
Mhm.
the cutesy slash romantic interactions that she has with them, like she'll realize, like she's not so stupid that like she doesn't realize what's happening,
Yeah.
but it also doesn't quite come to her attention that they have feelings for her and they all want to date her,
Yeah.
because that's super overwhelming. It's, I don't know, it's an interesting balance between, you know, her just having a good time and then her like possibly pursuing romance.
Mhm.
Something she's never considered before. I feel like we're making Igarashi sound like such an asshole.
He really isn't as bad as we're making him sound. Like this is as much as we're shit talking him, this is still an extremely lighthearted comedy.
It's
It's
really
a
cute.
comedy.
Hmm.
So, like, nothing is ever as bad as like how we're making it sound.
Oh, dude, you know who's the real villain?
Ooh.
Mutsumi Sensei.
Yeah, he is.
Mutsumi has a big brother who comes to the school as a student teacher, and he's big pansexual energy. He comes in there and
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
"I'm gonna smooch all these kids," and you're like, "Whoa, that's gross! Don't do that."
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
Illegal.
And he's like, "I'm a student teacher. That's okay." And I'm like,
No,
"No,
it's not.
get away from these kids, ice cream man."
Stop. Don't touch
Uh-uh.
me there.
Don't touch me, my no-no square.
Yeah, Mutsumi Sensei comes around and he's kind of the driving force behind Mutsumi's like realization of his feelings for Serinuma.
Uh-huh.
Like the group asks him, "Do you actually like her?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like her and I like you and I like you and I like you.
Like
I like all of you."
the group collectively comes to the realization that Mutsumi might not even have a crush on Serinuma. He's just fucking there for the ride.
Yeah,
He's vibing.
I know. So
Oh,
good.
so funny.
But when his brother comes around, Mutsumi starts getting like these possessive feelings of Serinuma because the brother is like, "Oh ho ho, let's you want to touch?
You want to
You
touch?
want to kiss?"
Yeah, that's hot too. When
Yeah.
Senpai gets fucking hot and bothered, I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah. He's like, "No, don't touch her." Oh, and it's very cute. It's very sweet because he doesn't want his brother to take her away.
Mm-hmm.
This was a like I wrote down this note
Mm-hmm.
um cuz when I was messaging you last night and I was like, "Oh, maybe we could share like a personal Fujoshi experience."
Oh.
And like I honestly I don't know if this counts, but just the first thing that came into my mind when I wrote that down, um, it was when you and I were living
Uh-oh.
together in college.
Uh-huh.
And Hannah was our roommate at the time. So this is when we first started living together.
Okay.
And I was sitting on my top bunk on my laptop on 4chan looking at Yaoi.
Did I
And Hannah,
Sorry, real quick interjection. Had I
yeah.
shown you that board? Did I
Yes, you did.
I hate
You
myself.
introduced you
Why
intro-
why like this?
you gave me all my first times.
It was fate. It was destiny that we would be making the Ahegals podcast. It was written in the
Yeah.
stars from the moment we locked eyes.
It has been prophesized.
It has become fate. It is real. Oh my god.
But yes, you did turn me on to 4chan to look
Jesus.
at Yaoi.
Yeah, literally just to look at porn. What a surprise.
Just to look at porn. And so I'm on the top bunk in our room. And Hannah is like leaving the room to go to the bathroom or something, and she looks up at me, and I'm sitting with my back against the wall. I'm on the top bunk. So she obviously has to kind of go out of her way to observe what I'm doing. And I was looking at Yaoi, and like, I had positioned myself in this way that like nobody would know that I'm sitting here looking at penis. And she walks by and she very loudly announces, Yowie!
She
And I just remember, like, you laughing so hard and me squirming because I was embarrassed, but also showing you guys what I was looking
literally all three of us looked at it and like
Oh my god. Yes, so that is a Fujoshi experience that I have. Like, it's not even like really, really Fujoshi. It's just, oh, I got caught looking at gay porn.
I think that's your Fujoshi villain backstory.
She villain back. Ah, yes.
Ah, yes.
Wait, does that make me the villain?
No, no, no.
I
I just mean like your backstory into Fujoshi-dom, right?
yeah.
Villain makes it sound more enticing. That's all.
Amazing. Wonderful. I love it.
That's fucking funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy
You
shit.
introduced me to Fortune.
I was like, 4chan sucks. Don't look at it. But also this board.
And I had no idea what 4chan was.
God, I'm so sorry. I have tainted you this way. Oh man. That's a great Fujoshi moment though.
Yes, please share your own.
I'm trying.
Don't let
God.
me be alone in my
No, I
embarrassing
will
life
try my hardest to,
experience.
to think of my worst Fujoshi moment.
Oh god. I do have another one where I was recognized as a fellow Fujoshi by by one of my friends in high school. Um she had like this popular BL manga, Junjo Romantica.
Mm-hmm.
She had art printed out and slipped into like the cover of her binder. And I was,
Classic.
and I was like, "Hey, I've read that."
Oh my god.
And then we just talked about it, and I don't know if that's how we became friends, where we recognize each other as being kindred spirits. Uh,
I feel like most of my Fujoshi movements are relatively private.
mm,
Like
that's fair.
it's just me mouth breathing, stomach out, feet all like like fucking spread monkey toed. I don't know. I was just trying to think of like the most disgusting image of myself I could paint.
Oh my god.
um, but uh, uh I feel like I don't know. I'm I'm like out here like retracing my steps of Fujoshi-dom.
Mm. How did you first start getting into yaoi?
The gay shit.
The
Um,
gay.
that's a great question. I th I can't think of like a specific series that I would have gotten into.
Mm.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck. I know I wrote porn.
What?
Have I not told you about my fan fiction origins?
No.
Okay. Well, so shit, dude. Oh, you know what? Oh God,
Huh.
I'm really calling myself out here. Ooh. My first, I think, pairing or my first dive into boys love and like actively looking for boys love stuff was, oh God, was for Full Metal Alchemist.
No way. Who?
Which also would have been in middle school. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, but who were you looking for?
Edward and
Greed? Was it greed?
Alphonse. The ultimate sin.
No!
Oh, so good.
Heathen, blasphemer.
You know what though? When it finished, when the series finished, or at least the original anime finished, and they had the movie come out, Conqueror of Shambhala, which is like, I guess technically the like finale of the original anime, which completely offsets from the manga itself.
You owned that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you showed that to me.
Probably. I'm sure I was
Wow,
fucking
you really
obsessed
did
with it.
introduce me to everything.
I can't believe I'm such a fucking
Mama.
mother, dude. Like that doesn't surprise me, but also I'm just shaking my head at myself. Jesus Christ. um, but so when Conqueror of Shambhala came out, there was a way to like have that pairing work that wasn't blasphemous.
Okay, I think I recall.
To give context, because I feel like I just whispered Edward and Alphonse was my first favorite pairing. God, Full Metal Alchemist is a fucked up anime, and I'm sure we're going to watch it eventually. But like
Yeah.
the main protagonists are, oh God, how old are they? Like 14 and 15, 13, 14 or something.
Oh, they're fucking
They
kids,
are
dude.
children. Okay.
Yeah.
I too was a child. Not that that gives me much of an excuse, but I too was a child.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, same.
brothers.
Incest.
Incest. Yeah. God, I fucking devoured that shit too. Like looking for anything that could come up, right? Like fan fiction. I got really into fan fiction because of it. I got really
Nice.
into I found out what doujinshis were. God, a lot of DeviantArt digging. I never used DeviantArt except to look for porn as a child. Did you
Uh,
just open my door by yourself? How'd you do that? You sneaky puppy. Do you hear my
wow.
sins? Are you listening to my sins? No, you are too young. You must leave.
No.
Okay, hello. Say bye, Renee. Hi, podcast.
Hi, bye.
How did you break into my room? Okay,
Who
bye.
let you in here?
Yeah, so big sin, big Fujoshi energy. I feel like I'm trying to think of like real life stuff as the other thing. Like super embarrassing moments I've had.
Mm.
This kind of like slips. There's like a very fine line between Fujoshi cringe and like weeb cringe.
Okay, okay.
And oh God. Oh, I can't quite think about where like the weeb cringe is and the Fujoshi cringe is, you know. I'm sure I have like at a convention gotten really fucking excited about some weird boys love thing in front of a vendor and not even realized how fucking cringy I was being.
No, cause just like Nishina in the show, she fucking loves that you love their stuff. They
Love
love
that
that you
shit,
love their stuff.
baby. Yeah, I see Sarinuma's adventure is a lot like my own life. It's not at all like my own life. There was one time where I think this borders more on weeb cringe, but I am going to list it as Fujoshi cringe because of reasons. But
Okay.
Tiger and Bunny,
Yeah.
one of my favorite shows of all time. Um, shocking because it's
Shock.
shock. It's very much a it's a hero anime that like takes a lot of influence from like American comics. So it's
Mhm.
superheroes and they got powers and they kick butt and they're bleh, and it's cool and stuff.
Yeah.
And the two main characters are hot and they're hotter together. So they're real hot. So So like in the height of like tiger and bunny popularity, I was fucking obsessed with getting tiger and bunny merch.
Mm.
I had like three. I'm sure I still have them somewhere. I had like three photo books. I had two figures, three figures. I I did a cosplay of a character and reading all the dojin, bought dojin. Oh, it was fucking nutty. I spent so much goddamn money and energy looking for tiger and bunny shit. And like when I watched it, it wasn't as big as it was a couple years later as I was teetering off of liking it as much.
Mm.
So like then all of a sudden I come to con and there's a ton of kotetsus. There's a bunch of tigers and I'm like, "Ah, ah, ah, grandpa." But there was one year where the voice actor for Barnaby Bunny was
Oh.
was at con and he had a Q&A session and I was there by myself. I was breathing from the mouth waiting for the
No.
Q&A session. And I was like, I need to ask him a question. I must talk to Barnaby. It's like I need to have an interaction with him.
Oh.
I must know. And so I'm standing in this super long line and I'm just like, what am I gonna ask him? And like people are asking all these questions. Another thing, another reason why I like pulled away from anime as hard as I had in the last couple of weeks is like I had built this superiority complex that
Oh,
was not okay.
oh no.
And like an example of this, it's not something I'm going to dive into now, but an example of this would have been like during that event was like anyone who asked a question before me, like not everyone I don't think, but there were a lot of questions where I was like, what a waste of a question. It's like that's such a dumb question. Like that's something you can Google. I was such a shit. And like I wasn't a shit to anybody in their face, but like you have those mean thoughts and they poison the rest of you, you know?
Oh.
So, you know, that's something I've grown out of and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. And
Yeah.
and in the process have like separated myself from that cringe, but like in many ways outside of the me and superiority complex I had, that was a very happy time. I loved anime and it gave me a lot of happiness, so I'm slowly rolling into that carefully, cautiously, in a healthy manner. So
Nice.
thus this podcast was born.
And thus you have given birth to the Ahegals.
I have birthed.
Birthed!
So it's my turn to ask a question.
Ah, yes.
And the only thing I can come up with is if you were a superhero, what would your catchphrase be?
My catchphrase?
Yes.
Oh,
See,
Jesus.
that was the question that I asked him. I feel like this episode's derailed a lot. Like it all leads back, but like Fujoshi's very important.
Yeah, I legit thought that you were asking me what my catchphrase as a superhero would be.
Do you have one? You should
No,
give
I
it.
don't.
Okay.
Do you remember his answer though?
So he had a translator, of course, and she translated my question, and I don't think it 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 didn't translate well, and so
That's fair.
the angry weeb in me was like, "Oh, you didn't translate my question the way I'd wanted to." But
Oh,
as a result, my question ended up probably getting the best response,
nice.
wherein he he asked for permission to stand on the table, borrowed the borrowed the jacket and glasses from a Barnaby cosplayer to wear.
You showed me that video. Oh, I remember that. Okay, yes, please continue.
And then did a character like live reenactment, right? So he
What?
posed on the table. I don't know what he said because I don't speak Japanese, but he was like doing the Barnaby sign off, right? He was like, "We're here to help
Aw.
you. We are your heroes." And he's like see ya, right? That's Barnaby's sign off. Is see ya. And he does the little salute, right? To me, who's holding the camera, right? I'm holding my phone up to take a picture, and you can hear me scream at the end of that video.
That's awesome. Oh
Um,
my
you
god.
can totally hear the rest of the room going nuts too. So I'm
Yeah.
thankful for that. I can look back at that moment and not be dreadfully like, oh my God, I want to die. That was a good moment for everybody.
That was a good I wanna die.
That was a great I want to die.
But that's awesome. That's a really cool experience that you had.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Ooh.
That was deep.
Ooh.
That was a two-parter.
Wow. The prequel and the sequel.
Yeah, I don't know. Was there anything else we wanted to talk
I think
about this?
that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
At
it.
least for the podcast. I think that's it. I think we talked about pretty much everything towards the
No.
LGBTQIA plus community.
Mm-mm.
Because it's very obvious that it's making fun of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a very I'm laughing with you, not I'm laughing at you sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's I think the most that it like laughs at queerness is just like how uncomfortable the boys are. But like they do it. They kiss each other
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, they do
right?
it anyway.
They're
So
bros. They kiss each other goodnight all the time.
yeah.
It's a different matter of kissing your homies in front of your other homies.
And not kissing your homies goodnight in private.
Can we really fuck? Can we really quickly talk about Saranuma's brother?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hot.
Really?
Takuro is cute. I don't
You
know.
think he's hot?
It's that perfect combination of Mutsumi senpai and Nana.
Okay.
Cuz
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
he's got kind of this like street like look to him, right? Um
Mhm.
but then he also really cares about his sister. Like obviously they have like a siblings like you're stupid and you're a fucking weirdo cuz you like all this boys love shit. But I love you and I would protect you from all these boys in your room or whatever, right?
Yeah. It's funny when you say it like that because that is not how it came off to me. To me, it was just like, my sister is a disgusting otaku Fujoshi. Like, she's a Fujoshi.
Right.
She's an otaku. Stay away from her. And they're just like, we know.
When he gives her gum afterwards to apologize for being a
Okay,
dick,
that
that's
is cute.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is very sweet. He's like, I'm sorry I
He's
made
like,
fun of you.
okay, I'm sorry. Or when the boys are trying to stop Musumi from telling Serinuma how he feels about her,
Oh, yeah.
Nana calls the big brother and is like, "Hey, can you keep that guy that was like really fucking mean to you when we were at your house? Yeah, don't let him near your sister." And he's like, "I got you, fam.
I
I
got you. I
I
can
I
do that.
I'm scarred by this man, so I can do that."
It's a good show.
It
I really
really.
enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched it for the first time like towards the end of when we were in college.
Uh-huh.
Um and I really got a kick out of it because I think back then it was like before it had really tapered off on watching anime. So I was like, "Oh, this is me." I really hardcore related. But yeah, and watching it again years later, and like having those exact same feelings, and still being able to relate and enjoy it, even though I don't watch anime nearly as much as I used to. It's great.
Yeah, it's really good. It's surprisingly timeless.
But this is a show that is catered towards a female audience because it is like a reverse harem situation and ogling gay.
I mean,
Like
if you like your homies kissing you,
if you like to kiss your homies and your homies are okay kissing each other and yeah, it's
it's,
a show for you.
it's your show, baby.
It's your show.
Sufficiently moist.
Yes.
We should absolutely not do a rating system. Because I'm just gonna say more depraved shit the longer that we do this for.
Hey, we're called Ahegals. If it's not depraved, then what's the point?
We need a rebrand if that's not.
That was Kiss Him, Not Me. Or the Japanese title, 私がモテてどうすんだ? 私
Oh.
がモテてどうすんだ?
Do.
どうしよう。
どうしよう。
どうしよう。But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our ramblings, our tangents.
Yeah, this was quite the ramble. It was a good ramble, but this
Yeah,
is quite
good
the ramble.
ramble, good ramble. I really enjoyed that.
We'll fix it in post. What's our next show gonna be?
Oh,
Should we do
no idea.
should we do previews? No, that's too much for us.
Yeah, planning. Who does that?
Illegal. Not on Ahegals.
Not on Ahegals.
Uh-uh.
Tune in next time for our surprise anime. Every episode is a surprise.
Tune in for a surprise.
What's it gonna be? Oh, hey, we have a Twitter account, by the way, for the podcast.
We do have a Twitter account.
Yeah. It's at Ahegals. If there's a specific anime you guys would like us to talk about, go ahead and at us on Twitter. And we'll make note.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
These episodes are also posted on my YouTube channel. I would make another Ahegals YouTube channel, but there's like prerequisites to list videos that are more than an hour long. So for right now, they are on my channel, youtube.com. I think it's /modesty.
You should probably spell that for people because it's not.
And modesty, MAUDESTEA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll also link on the Twitter page as well.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's gotta be everywhere. We're hopefully gonna come to a podcasting app near you. I think currently we're on
we're on an app.
We're on Google Play and Apple, I believe.
And you put it on
And our
Podbean.
Podbean.org.
Well, I just have the app on my phone and it's just called Podbean.
Podbean.com. Yes, we are on podbean.com. So yeah, hopefully coming to more sites soon.
Yeah. That concludes this podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and listening to our weird conversations.
Yeah.
We enjoy having you all here.
Yeah, thanks for sharing our shame.
Yes.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.